What's up, nerds? Welcome back to another unboxing on the BurlyFishing channel. Today we've got one from 6 cents. It includes a bunch of restock stuff that I'm actually pretty stoked about, some new technique stuff, and a whole bunch of storage stuff that I'm actually excited about, and I think you guys will be too. There's a whole bunch of sale items on the 6 cents web store right now, so if you want to check them out, go check out 6 cents Fishing. They got a ton of deals running. They got some Christmas bags going. I'm not going to be picking up any of the Christmas bags because it would be a lot of redundant baits for me, but they do look like some pretty slick deals if you guys are looking to just stock up on some 6 cents fishing lures, and why wouldn't you want to do that? Before we get into all this, if you guys like the content, be sure to subscribe, smash the like, ring the notification bell. We appreciate you. All right, let's see what we got in this unboxing, shall we? We all agreed on this, right? We're not calling this an unsacking? Cool, me too. So first off, we got some storage stuff. This is for the plastics. These are actually pretty awesome, and they are on sale right now while supplies last. So this like old school camo style, which I actually kind of like, is the large bait container, right? So the large bait bag. These are pretty rad. They come with a double zipper as well as Velcro, so they're staying shut, which is awesome. They got 2 carrying handles, which seem to be stitched pretty darn well, I would say. Not seeing any potential issue there. Feels pretty sturdy. On the inside, it's also like kind of insulated. I mean, I dare you to make this your lunchbox. That would be pretty rad. You'd be the coolest kid in school. But on the inside, you got plenty of storage space. Look at the size of this thing. For shoots and googles here, let's try to fit a few things in. Ready? So we got like just like a clamshell. We got some Z-Man packages. And we're gonna just slide them in here. Oh boy, yeah, this is quite the bait binder. It looks like we could fit a ton of baits in here. With these things stacked vertically, it looks like it's gonna fit, I don't know, probably 25, 30 bags. So each one of these bags, we can make a new label for and have it just be like my Ned Rig stuff, or, you know, all of my craw plastics, whatever you want. So you can categorize them. I don't think they're gonna take up that much room on the boat, which I'm excited about. This is definitely something where I would consider replacing like my standard bags with, or even getting rid of this big old tote on the boat and being more specific with what I take out on the water. That could be helpful, making me more effective and efficient on the water when I'm going fishing, because as you guys know on this channel, unfortunately, Paul and I, being dads, career people, we don't have a lot of time to go fishing. Probably much like most of you, we get out maybe once a week, and we're excited that we get that opportunity. We are blessed that we get to even do that. But when we get out there, we don't have a lot of time, so we want to be as efficient as possible. And that is why I pick up a lot of the storage stuff that you guys see me do, and I reorganize my tackle a lot because I'm constantly trying to get more efficient. Which is why I bought 2 of these bags. And also, we picked up a bunch for Paul, so Paul can be more efficient too. Okay, so beyond the large bait bags, which I'm super stoked about, I'm gonna fill those up here in a minute. We also went for the XL plastic bags. Things are all fine and dandy with my Monster Bass bags. They're just not this big. Look at this thing. Oh my gosh, it's absolutely insane. I was also interested to see how this Professional Series bait zip, these are the slightly more expensive ones, hold up in comparison to those bags. So we've got pretty nice stitching down the side, looks pretty good. Across the top, I like that it's like double stitched there. The zipper, I think, is really well made. You've got this protected end section there, so the zippers don't break off. Unfortunately, on a lot of my MB bags, that has happened. Pros and cons with those bags: you get them for free, they hold up decently well, but if you hack them like I do, there's a good chance, because this end section, see this exposed zipper there, because of that, there's a very good chance you're gonna break this zipper right off. And I've actually done it plenty of times. Case in point, here's an example right here. And there's no fixing that. That is dead forever. So I don't know, will the 6 cents bag hold up better? I sure hope so, because it's quite a bit more expensive and it's the Professional Series. So we're gonna see. Did we just stir up a controversy? I don't know, maybe. But also, just so you know, this color right here is the heater color from Justin Royal. So if you want to support your boy who was on the BurlyFishing podcast, go do that. Go get this. Pretty rad color, I would say. I don't know about you guys. A little chartreuse goes a long way. But just to mix things up, I also got the like army green edition. So we'll see how both of these bags work out. So far, based on the looks, I think they look decent. The major issue with these bags all the time is the zipper. So only time will tell. I'll keep you guys updated. Oh, by the way, I missed pretty much the best feature about these. Check this out. This is something that I needed. Look at the bottom. It opens up. So you can actually make this bag kind of stand up, and that also makes it so you can more easily overstuff this bag versus your standard bait bags, which do not open up on the bottom. So if you overpack these, that's why all my zippers are breaking, you're screwed. Done with bags, done with storage. Let's get to these heckin' giant sacks. Look at this. This freaking Santa sack right here is ridiculous. I think we'll open that one second, because this one right here is all together. This is actually one of their kits. So if you guys don't know, 6th Sense Fishing does a whole lot of bundles, and it's actually a tab right on their website. Check them out. There's some pretty sweet deals on there. Personally, I've picked up the hook bundle about 3 times because I love their hooks, and I just keep stocking up on them to refill my terminal box. Now, this one is also going towards the terminal. This is the Carolina rig pack. That's right. If you guys have been watching the channel, or if you've listened to the podcast recently, you know that we recently fished the St. Lawrence with the Monster Bass team. So thank you to them for taking us out there. And on that trip, I single-handedly learned how to fish the Carolina rig. And it has now become one of my favorite techniques to go to, especially this time of year, because it's so easy to fish it slow. So I figured, why not try to see if a company out there had a Carolina rig pack, and 6th Sense just happened to have one, so I picked it right on up. Let's see what's in here. Okay, so terminal wise, what do you get with this pack? First off, you get their pitch black tungsten weights right there. So we've got 1/2 ounce in black tungsten weights. They're sort of a flippin' style, so a little bit like bulkier look to them. Kind of your standard tungsten flippin' weight, nothing super special about it. It's probably black all the way through, so it's similar to like a Woo Tungsten no chip, and you're not going to have like the paint chipping off of that, which is crucial. I think it's good. You got the recessed section on the bottom for beads, which is good for Carolina rigs. Typically, I'm adding beads to it. Not bad. I wish they would list the weights on them, but all in all, it's a tungsten weight. Like, you're going to be good. Now, with that, they're sending you their premium swivels. These things are solid. Paul's actually been using these for a little while. I have not used them once, but from what I hear from him, they are awesome. These are the size 6. They come in, I think, 3 or 4 different sizes. So just to give you a nice close-up look at that. So we got like a premium barrel swivel situation going on. If you guys have done Carolina rigs before, you know you typically want 2 of these on your rig. You're gonna have your main line go to this. Then you're gonna tie another section between this and another swivel. And in that section, that's where you have your weight, maybe your clackers, your beads, things like that. I mean, you can choose your own adventure here, build it however you want. And then you're gonna have your other swivel, which goes to your leader line. Usually I go with mono. That's what I've learned so far. I say usually, I just picked up this technique. I digress. I go to mono, mono floats. So I want, during this time of year especially, floaty plastics, monofilament leader line there. That way, as I pick this line up, pick up my Carolina rig, and then I bring it back down, as it drops, that weight is going down very slowly. And that's pretty much what it's taking to get a bite in Michigan right now, which is where I'm at. So these gyro swivels are sweet. They shouldn't break. And I actually had this experience recently. I broke a few cheaper swivels. So go with that. Go premium. All right, with that, they've got a hook that I'm very familiar with from them. This is their offset worm hook called the Jugular, and these things are stout a heck. These are the 4/0, kind of your classic offset worm hook. I mean, these are great for just about any bait right now, this time of year. What's been working is craw baits, bug style baits. So a smaller, bulkier body, actually a bandito bug, they've been working really well. That's what I'm throwing at this time of year. And I'd say during like the summer months, or like late spring, rolling into summer, through summer, if you throw the Carolina rig, that's where I'll be reaching for like the 6th Sense Hog Walla, or something with a longer, crazier profile. Okay, so you get tungsten, you get premium swivels, you get hooks. What do you put on those hooks? Oh, there's another thing in here I forgot. One more terminal thing, you got Peg X stoppers from 6th Sense. These are great stoppers. They come on like one of the best setups I've seen. If you guys have gotten peg stoppers before, usually it's like just a bunch of wire wrapped around a little ring. Looks like crap, stores like crap. I think that these are pretty great. Easy to store, easy to use, great stoppers. I don't know, maybe I'm doing it wrong as opposed to how 6th Sense wants you to rig these, but I don't use peg stoppers when I'm using a Carolina rig. You definitely could. Maybe you can use less swivels that way. I'm not sure. You guys tell me in the comments. Do you use a peg stopper when you're doing Carolina? Because currently I just go swivel, weights, beads, and clackers, swivel, straight to the hook. That's it, and that's been working for me. So like that weight moves around. It's a smaller section that's moving around on, and in fact, I'm gonna show you some pre-rigs that I picked up from 6 Cents here in a minute, and you'll see what that section actually looks like, but pre-rigged. So I don't know, I've never used one that way, but let me know in the comments. They also sent us a whole heck ton of plastics. There's actually 5 bags of plastics that came with this for options to throw on your Carolina rig. And they'll all work on that offset worm hook. So first off, we got the good old Ned Fry in a pretty solid color. I like these darker colors right now. They seem to be getting me way more bites. Natural and dark colors have been working. So if you're not familiar with the Ned Fry, that is their like chunkier, floatier worm, right? It's not salty at all. This thing floats quite a bit more. This color is called Plum Fleck, which is like this dark purple, even almost like a reddish maroonish type color. Reddish maroonish, what a weirdo. And it's got all this blue flake in there. So that is juicy. That color is gonna pop underwater for sure. I like it a lot. You got a flat side, so I generally go like flat side down. And again, with the Carolina, especially if you go mono, this worm floats a bit more. It's a slow sink. So you cast it out there on that mono, this thing's dropping just like that. Throwing a worm on a Carolina, good option. And the Ned Fry is sort of a shorter profile worm too, which is what's been working for me. Next up, we got Green Pumpkin Ned Fry. Can't go wrong with Green Pump. Again, natural colors have been working great for me, so I can see this thing doing some damage. Love that Ned Fry. I think that was a really good call from them throwing that into this pack. Then we got like the classic Carolina style, that like lizard style, longer profile, big dangly legs. This is their Hog Walla. And I'm happy I picked this up because I don't have this color currently. These things are juicy, juicy. So lizard style bait, got a nice beefy body to it to rig up to. And then we've got this crazy double tail coming off the back. So again, as this falls, it's gonna have a ton of action. I think it's a slimmer profile, right? It's not too chunky. So it's something they could go after this time of year. Water temperatures in my area have plummeted, so I'm having much better luck with short, bulky profiles. Something I'll come back to. Then we got the Clout, which is their classic like Senko style worm. These are 5.4 inches. And we've got one in black and blue and one in June bug. You guys know black and blue. I'll just show you the June bug here, which is a pretty crazy color. P.S. one of these bags is leaking and there is juice absolutely everywhere. So this is the Clout. Clout's a great Senko style worm. You can see right here if you wacky rig it, it's nuts. These would be decent, something I've never thrown on a Carolina, but I'm brand new to it, so I got chances here to rig up some new stuff. But their June bug is that like Christmas tree color. So you got red and green flake in there and it's a solid purple body. I like the Clout because of this design here. You can see it's got like this geometric shape pattern to it, which is pretty unique. Not a lot of worms out there that look like this. Gives it sort of more pliability, more flexibility, a little more durability. It's a lot of abilities, but it's a solid heckin' worm. And again, the other one we got is that good old black and blue. So like this, a lot of darker colors. We got some natural colors in here. Mostly worms, 4 packs of different types of worms, but you get some variety. So it's cool if you're like getting into Carolina rigging or you want to try something new. This could be a great pack for you. And at a pretty good price. Like whenever you do these bundles, you are getting a discount for getting it all together at one time. I think they generally, depending on which bundle you get, they're gonna go from like 35 bucks up to 50 bucks. And their Christmas bundles, they've got a pretty crazy one at like $99. It's like $150 value. So I'd go check that one out. And those come in bags like this, gigantic. So let's see what else I got, because I kind of forgot what I ordered. Oh boy. Save, if you guys have these are pretty solid for Christmas. Save them up, stocking stuffers. You can put whatever presents you're getting, like your kids, family, friends in here. Good option. Good usage. Okay, so we got a couple plastics. I got a couple things for Paul and for myself here, some restock, some good stuff. Now, off the top, I got the prawns. Now, these are probably a bit too big to get me a bite at the moment, unfortunately. But this is the style of bait that I would want to throw on a Carolina rig. I wish these came in a smaller size. So these are 4.2 inches. If they came in a smaller size, they would be perfect right now. And that's why I'm using the Bandito bug right now, is because it just is basically this, because it brings me the action that this does in a much smaller package. I mean, look at the two of those. So you're shaving almost an inch, at least an inch off of this thing. Right, so that's the Bandito bug. This has been getting me bites right now on the Carolina rig. This thing is getting smoked. I literally would throw the stroker craw, would throw this, and then threw this on and was getting bit. It was nuts, like in the same exact spot. So I don't know what it is about this thing right now, but this was working. That said, I still think this is a fantastic bait and may work for me at a different time of year, and also something that I want to flip around as well. So flip around and find out, you know what I mean? This is the prawn. This thing's crazy. It's ridged body all the way through. You got all the appendages up the side, big flappers down here. It's a solid like bug or beaver style bait, whatever you want to call it. It does have dual sides too. There's eyes on both sides, so you can rig it either way. They do have some two-tone colors like Mexican Spice, which is one of my favorite colors they offer because it's as close to copper truce as you can be. The chartreuse is just a little bit too yellow for me. That's all I got to say. Copper truce, the chartreuse section is a little more green than yellow in the chartreuse, and it works amazingly in these waters. Mexican Spice is like, it's close to that, but not quite. And you can tell it gets less bite, but I still love it. All right, so that was watermelon red. That is working for me right now, that color. I do dig it. It's getting bites. But another good option is green pumpkin blue. Again, close to a natural color, has blue flake in it though to stand out a bit more. And there's that green pumpkin with that blue flake, gives it a nice flash. Solid option as well. Then we come to one of my new favorite baits from 6th Sense, because it's the closest thing to a Ned rig that they offer. They call the Ned Fry, but I mean, you got to cut it down, re-rig it. It's a little bit different. I don't use it on Neds that often at all. This, however, the mini stroker craw, I do use on Neds, especially in the river. These things are fantastic. And detach the claw appendages here, so they'll be flapping like crazy in the water. Very tiny profile, comes in at 2.4 inches, and this is a dark watermelon red. A little different spin on your watermelon colors. I like it. I think that red flake makes a big difference for bites, and this thing is gonna get bit. Definitely a solid option for Ned rigging. It is a two-tone color, so you got like a lighter side on this side, if you guys can see. And on this side, we've got a very dark color, light color, dark color. And you do get 8 in these packs too. Fairly durable, not amazingly durable, but they do get bit. Caught plenty of smallmouth, rock bass, things like that on this. Okay, so that brings us to the other baits that we picked up. We got a whole bunch of Carolina pre-rigs from 6th Sense. I'm stoked for these. These are all lead versions. Pretty much went for what they had in stock. They do offer tungsten pre-rigs, which are great. Here's my deal with Carolina. I'm probably gonna break these. So if I'm gonna break it, then I don't want to spend a lot of money on weights. I'd rather just use lead weights or brass weights and like lose it if I lose it, whatever. If you lose a whole Carolina rig, it kind of sucks. I mean, you're dropping beads, clackers, weights, swivels, like the whole rig all together. It's pretty costly. So in these Carolina rigs, I picked up 2 in the 1 ounce and 2 in the 3/4 ounce. Now, Paul's gonna argue with me about this, but I like throwing heavier Carolinas. That's a problem I picked up on the St. Lawrence. So I'm gonna have to relearn that and lighten up. But also 6th Sense has not really been great with stock on these. It's been a struggle to find their 1/2 ounces, which is I think where they start. So here's the 3/4. Nice things about this. Number 1, you've got a wire here instead of line. This wire is not gonna snap and it's not gonna get bit off. I had trouble the other day. I rigged up my own Carolina rig. This was monofilament line and a pike bit right through it. Ate the weight. It was ridiculous. I was upset that he ate the weight. First of all. Second of all, I lost the entire rig. Pain in my butt. So this is not going to get bit off. That's cool. Here's a downside. They used their cheap swivels on this. Like, what the heck? So on the St. Lawrence, granted, crazy current, very rocky. But if you're dealing with that, caution you here, these swivels are super cheap. So I snapped one of these off in that river, lost the whole rig. It sucked. So that is a downside to these because they use them on both ends, as you can see. But you guys can get the perspective here of like what a Carolina rig looks like. You've got this short section here. You got your weight. You got a bead and a clacker and then another bead. So it's going to make that clacking sound. as it lifts and drops and does this as you're moving it through the water. And that can definitely draw some bites. So lead weights are fine. Got that recessed section there so that bead fits right into it. I think these are well made. I really wish that they would just charge a little bit more and put their premium swivels on this. I mean, I think that was a miss. So all I gotta do is tie this to my main line and then tie on that mono leader to my hook and rig a plastic. Much easier than tying the swivel, tying this line, putting the weights, putting the beads on, adding the clacker, finding all these parts in your terminal box, tying on another swivel, then tying on the leader line, then adding the hook, then adding the plastic. You can see why most people don't throw Carolina rigs, because it's a pain in the freaking butt. But having these can be a lifesaver. And here's the 1 ounce weight in lead for comparison. A little bit bigger. There you go. The tungstens come in a much smaller profile, but again, it's tungsten. Don't lose that stuff. From there, I picked up a couple different sizes of those premium gyro swivels. I plan on using Carolina rigs quite a bit more often than I currently do, so I figured, why the heck not? These will probably last forever, but if you guys want some nice swivels, check these out. And finally, one of the things I'm most excited about from this box, last 2 baits here, would be the new slow sink versions of the Provoke 106s. Now, if you guys don't know, the Provoke 106 is a fantastic jerkbait. It has caught me the most fish on a jerkbait this year. It is my go-to jerkbait. I love it. You guys will love it. If you haven't fished it, go check it out. And now they got a slow sink version. Why would you go slow sink? For me, it means on the pause, this bait is just kind of doing this thing, like a dying bait fish, and you're going to get bit. So I love going for slow sinks during the colder water months. Early spring, late into the fall, moving into winter, these tend to get more bites for me. Or if you want to fish the crazy slashing action of the shorter lip jerkbait and you want to fish deeper, you can kind of just cast it out there, pause it, let it fall for a while, twitch, twitch, pause, twitch, twitch, pause, you'll get bit. So if you want to fish different parts of the water column, why not? So I picked up one of my favorite colors of all time, but this is for Paul. This is the 4K Gill. This thing is the go-to color for me for this jerkbait. Love that. And I decided to try something different. So this is called the Vendetta. It's got a bit of purple on the top, bit of orange on the bottom. You can even see they're labeled. Man, is that helpful. Slow sink right there. That makes it a lot easier if you have a bunch of jerkbaits like I do in like one tackle box. You can just pick them out and say, oh yeah, this is a slow sink version. Got it. But this thing has the flash to it, which is money right now. Pike are going crazy for this for me. I actually like catching pike. If you guys don't, fine, I get it. But this is working for me for bites at the moment. Got the same short lip of the regular Provoke 106. Amazing 3D eyes on these. They're always looking good. And then again, you got that purple on top. So flashy, flashy, purple and orange. It's gonna look good going crazy through the water. And again, 4K Gill is great, so Paul's gonna catch a ton of fish on this thing too. Okay. There you go. That was a pretty big order. It was about 180 bucks from 6 cents. I hope you guys are trying out some new techniques. You're not just living in one little wheelhouse. And that's kind of what Paul and I try to do with this channel, is we try to experience new things, try new techniques, learn from other people way smarter than us and way better than us at fishing. Because we've said it on the channel before, Paul and I are aggressively average anglers. Like, we ain't that good, but we get better every time we go fishing, and that's because we're trying to learn from everybody else out there. And we encourage you guys to definitely do the same. So I definitely appreciate Patrick, our guide from New York, when we were up north. We were fishing for giant smallmouth. That was fantastic. If you guys haven't seen the videos from that, go back on the channel, check them out. Do yourself a favor and check out some gigantic smallies. Again, we were fishing with Larry Melton Jr., we had Fish and Grubs, we had Smallmouth Crush, Epic Eric, like tons of awesome people from the Monster Bass team, Rick and Rafi included. It was a great time. Sam Moore Media filmed the whole thing. You guys will see some professional footage of that dropping in the near future. I can't wait to see it. It's gonna be great. But again, thanks to Patrick for teaching me the Carolina rig. Thanks to Paul for always trying to make me fish it and me ignoring him. So to be fair to him, he did suggest it to me first before Patrick said, fish this to catch giants. I digress. I encourage you guys to go learn a new technique either this fall, this winter. If you can't fish right now, then next spring, start things off with a bang with something fresh. Don't keep throwing the same old green pumpkin Texas rig. Like, I get it, it works. but try some new stuff. It's fun, it's exciting, and it's very rewarding when you end up catching a fish on it. All right, you guys, that's all I got for you today. Hopefully you're having an awesome day. Hopefully you still got a chance to fish before this winter really closes in on us. Real quick, do me a favor. If you guys liked the video, be sure to subscribe, smash a like, and ring that notification bell. I appreciate y'all so much. Have an awesome day. We'll see you on the next video.